I got the bloodlust. Me too. I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 271 of the program. Tonight we are talking about The Monkey, approximately the 576,000th Stephen King IP adaptation to come out.
Yeah, that sounds like an almost exact number.
Yeah. My name is Amy. I'm your fearless leader. That other voice you hear is my lovely and talented co-host, Jamie.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Listeners, we're getting you this episode a few days late because this is actually the second time that we are recording it. Something went amok with my microphone, and even though the waveform looked fine, it sounded weird and glitchy and robotic the whole time, and I don't know what happened. So, we're doing this again. Only because we love you.
Take two.
That's right. So, Jamie, our roundtable for this week, or this time, was also a roundtable on Sunday, when we recorded this previously. And as it is a Stephen King adaptation, this one from a short story from Skeleton Crew. Is that his second collection, or was that his first collection? Was it Skeleton Crew first, or Night Shift? You don't know?
No. My Stephen King knowledge is basic at best.
Well, anyway, it's one of his short story collections. Not my favorite one. My favorite one's Night Shift, personally.
Yes, I do know that much, that I liked that one better.
Yeah. But because of it being a Uncle Stevie property, our roundtable this episode is... Who is your favorite Stephen King baddie? Jamie. Who's your favorite Stephen King baddie? Little girl?
Don't ever call me that again. I think he'd be my answer any other time, but mostly because this is my most recently read Stephen King novel, which is The Stand. Mm-hmm. And so I will say my favorite is Randall Flagg.
It's not a scary name.
No, it's very unassuming.
It's not like Pennywise.
Basic sounding. Mm-hmm. Correct. It's not. He's like the religious cult leader, necromancer guy in The Stand who's just like this ominous presence that people sometimes refer to as just RF. And there's just like always this looming background of him throughout the book, even when it's not a scene that he's in. Just like he's mentioned often enough that he's always sort of back of mind.
Okay.
And so he's just really kind of a unique, creepy character in that he's not a monster necessarily.
He's a human.
Or anything like that. Yeah. But he does have some like supernatural sort of abilities, but he doesn't look any different. But yeah, I just found him to be a very effective, creepy bad guy. And The Stand is really one of my top 3, maybe top 2 Stephen King novels.
What's your other one?
It's between it and Misery.
I really like Pet Sematary. But that's the most recent one I read, so maybe that's why.
So those are some of the more recent ones I've read. So it could just be because of that. But still, there are a lot of good ones. But this one I really liked. I think I started reading it like right when COVID was kicking off because it seemed appropriate, and it's like 1,300 pages or something. So
what else you got to do?
Exactly. That gives me a lot of book to read, and I loved it. Like I couldn't put it down.
You know, I'm reading The Queen by Nick Cutter right now, and it's so funny. I read The Monkey, the short story, in preparation for this episode. I wanted to reread it. Mm-hmm. And reading that after reading Nick Cutter, it's so funny how these modern horror authors try to write like him. They all emulate him, especially funny. Nick Cutter. Just the little ways that they set things up and the flashbacks and the inner dialogue and stuff. It's so apparent how much he influenced modern horror writers.
I mean, I would say rightly so.
Sure. I think it'd be impossible
Volume
not to.
Alone.
Yeah, and probably most horror writers today grew up with him.
Yes. And I think he's probably the most accessible over various age groups, because he does have kid-friendly stuff and then he has more adult stuff, so he's got a wider appeal than maybe some.
Does he have kid-friendly stuff?
Well,
I just read stuff when it was inappropriate for me to read.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking, but I feel like he has some books that like aren't super.
I don't know. I think maybe The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon or the Gwendy's Button one. I never read those, but they might be more aimed towards kids. I doubt he could go a whole book without having some like macabre shit in there, though.
I was a kid. Yeah, true.
He's Stephen King. He would have to.
I mean, yeah, I started reading horror type things at an early age, so I guess I just assumed all kids. It was just accessible to all of them.
It's accessible to us. It may not be appropriate, but it was accessible.
Yes, fair.
God bless the library.
Yes.
I think that my favorite Stephen King baddie is... I think probably Annie Wilkes.
Great choice.
From Misery. What a creepy character.
Who could forget?
But I also really was just a very memorable character. I don't know that I think she's like the scariest, but just a memorable character. The one I thought was really scary was Patrick Hockstetter from It, the kid who was a sociopath. The one who kept the puppy locked in the fridge.
Yeah, what a deeply disturbing individual.
And a good depiction of a sociopath.
Yes.
I also thought Margaret White from Carrie was very creepy and
of course.
Intimidating.
Classic.
So I think those would be my three favorites. I was really scared of Zelda from Pet Sematary, but not really the book, because I read the book as an adult. I just read it recently, like in the past 10 years. But the Zelda from the movie scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, she was.
And the little girls from the hallway, the twins from The Shining.
Right.
So those are the things from Stephen King properties that have scared me the most, but not particularly his books.
I'd agree with that. Although I remember finding Cujo very tense and scary when I first read it.
I've never seen or read Cujo. It's a blind spot in my horror catalog. I always felt like I'd be too sad for the dog.
Yeah, you probably would.
But it's good, and he's scary.
I remember loving it. I remember checking it out frequently and rereading it.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is the worst Stephen King bad guy?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Who do you think?
I didn't really like the Lady in the Mist. Only because I found it hard to believe that someone could be that evil.
I am not familiar with The Mist.
No, you haven't seen the movie? The Mist is just a short story, but they made a movie out of it with, Thomas Jane.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Marcia Gay Harden. I think you'd probably like it. Marcia Gay Harden plays this religious zealot lady who just makes things miserable for everybody who's trapped in the store. And I always just felt
always
like...
one.
Yeah, she just seemed like such a caricature. I don't remember if she's in the short story or if she's like an amalgamation of different characters from the short story. But I didn't really love that character. Although some people consider her to be one of the biggest villains from a Stephen King property.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Carmody, that's her name.
Okay.
Listeners, who is your favorite Stephen King bad guy? Is it Pennywise? Pennywise is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's objectively terrible, but also kind of cool.
He's like the Superman of bad
Sure.
guys, because he's like, he can do anything. He's pretty much unbeatable.
Yeah. Jack Torrance, also a classic choice.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments or via email or however you'd like to do so. And that has been our roundtable. Hey, what is your favorite, what do you think is your favorite Stephen King adaptation, movie adaptation?
Oh, Jesus. Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
Or Green Mile?
I still haven't seen Green Mile.
It's very good. It's very upsetting, as is the story, but the movie especially so.
I remember my mom read it as it was coming out, and I remember her really enjoying it because he released that serialized.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I think that my favorite has still got to be The Shining.
Sure.
Just because it had such a big impression on me as a kid.
That makes sense. That
Plus
tracks.
it's Stanley
and it's
Kubrick.
great. Mm-hmm.
I think my second favorite's probably Pet Sematary, even though the movie's not that good. Just because it scared me so bad. And I just love the set design in that movie.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
And the little kid is so cute.
And I saw a very funny supercut of every time Fred Gwynn in that movie says, "That road," with his New England
road?
accent.
Uh-huh.
He says it like, I don't know,
100.
at least 80 something times. And they've got a supercut of it
That
out there.
road?
And it's very funny. That road.
Someone had a lot of time on their hands.
Uh-huh. But I appreciated it. All right, guys, let us get to talking about the monkey, shall we? Jamie, would you like to give us the stats?
Sure. This movie is rated R. It has a runtime of 1 hour 38 minutes, written and directed by Osgood Perkins, based on the short story by, as you could guess, Stephen King. It stars Theo James, Tatiana Maslany, and Christian Convery. It released in theaters February 21st, 2025, so not too long ago. And on Rotten Tomatoes right now, it's 78% fresh with critics, 59% fresh with audiences.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
This is about, and it's pretty similar to the short story, except in the short story, it was just brothers. And this one, it's twins, identical twins played by Theo James as an adult. And they discover their father's dark secret, a toy monkey whose drum playing equals a grisly death from from a random person nearby. This is what happens when I try to read the synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
And they soon learn that the monkey is attached to their family, bringing destruction wherever it turns up. So we follow mostly the one brother, Hal. He he was the bullied child, and he put together what the monkey was doing faster than his brother, and has kind of withdrawn from people and tries not to make close acquaintances or relationships because he's afraid of losing people. He did get rid of the monkey by throwing it down a well as a child.
Or so he thought.
But it turns back up. And that's where the movie starts off. So what did we think about this movie? First of all, there's a lot of cameos in it.
There are. I wasn't expecting so many.
No, I wasn't either. We got Elijah Wood.
I mean, I guess that's the point. Why do you expect them?
Right, sure. We got Adam Scott. Elijah Wood plays the stepdad of Hal's estranged son, who he only sees 1 week a year because he's afraid of getting close to him. Adam Scott plays Hal's dad, and we get to see a brief scene with him trying to offload the monkey at a curio shop. Sarah Levy plays his aunt, who takes him in after his family dies. Sarah Levy being from Schitt's Creek, Eugene Levy's daughter. And the director, Oz Perkins, has a cameo as Hal's uncle. And I recognize Theo James from White Lotus. He's in season 2 of White Lotus. And Tatiana Maslany, who I thought, I know this face, but I don't know who she is from Orphan Black, which I never watched, but I heard was great.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything else with her in it besides this movie. And she looked incredibly familiar. So
yeah, right?
Maybe she just also has one of those faces.
Maybe she does. And another thing, in the Stephen King story, it's a monkey crashing cymbals together. But they weren't allowed to use that monkey because that is an image owned by Disney now. So they used drums, playing drums. All right. So, what'd you think, Jamie?
What did I think? I think it was pretty much what I would have expected, at least would have expected my reaction to be to an Osgood Perkins movie.
Even though it was so different in tone?
Yeah, the tone didn't work for me. There were some aspects that I really liked. I mean, I like how it looked. I like how most of his movies look. I think he's a good director and makes movies that are interesting to watch and look at. But like the dialogue didn't work for me. It felt very weird. I think it took me a minute to realize how camp it was trying to be, but even then, like a lot of the jokes and humor just sort of fell flat. I wasn't in a big audience though, so sometimes I know it helps when you have like everybody else's reaction to go along with it. It just, I don't know, maybe makes the humor a little funnier, spices it up a bit, but it just didn't work for me. There were some parts where I laughed. I really enjoyed the opening scene with Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Like, I think to me it peaked there. and then everything else was just kind of meh. But I'm trying to think. It's hard because I can tell, like I said, that he makes really good movies and that he's a skilled filmmaker, and that I know like the story of the tragic thing, things that happened in the deaths of his parents in various strange accidental ways, like unexpected ways, not your sort of normal natural death. And so It's clear in not only this movie, but some of his other stuff that he is working through some things. And
definitely.
Still maybe trying to come to terms with that. Although I feel this movie, by even just the attempt to throw humor in it and make it a black comedy, is showing that like he's comfortable dealing with it and expressing it and sort of working things out in multiple ways. And I actually really liked his cameo in this. That was maybe the funniest part to me.
Yeah,
like
those mutton chops.
Yeah, like he says one of the funniest lines. It's just a really kind of hilarious scene.
I mean, if you're going to put yourself in a movie, you might as well give yourself the best line.
Sure, of course. But yeah, outside of that, like, it's just, I thought the plot and the story was kind of lacking, kind of stretched. There were times where I just felt it was boring. The dialogue didn't work for me. I think the humor was not hitting with me. But it did have some very enjoyable, unique, fun to watch kills. And some of those gave me a chuckle. And I like how they were gory, or they kind of went there with some of the gore stuff, but they didn't, they used it sparingly. They didn't like dwell on it and show it. There were a lot of just like sort of flashbacks of like gnarly deaths. Yeah. And I thought those were funny, like, because there was such a variety. It was like watching 1,000 Ways to Die or something, and they're just all these, what's the craziest way we can make someone die? But yeah, outside of that, this just wasn't, it didn't do it for me. And which is kind of disappointing, because I thought the trailer looked really good, but I think the expectation that I had in my mind was more like energy in it, almost more like action packed, or like constant things happening. There were so many points where I just like felt this, like I was saying, earlier, like the story was being stretched or something, and there wasn't really enough there to sort of beef it out. And there were some sort of like familial relations or character development stuff that I just didn't care about. So it made those scenes kind of dull for me, or just, it allowed me to just sit there and feel bored. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because as much, even though I wasn't a fan, like a huge fan of this, and it's not my cup of tea, I would probably still recommend it because I know I'm coming at it from a biased place anyways, where I just haven't really been a huge fan of any of Osgood Perkins's movies.
And you typically don't like horror comedies.
That's a great point. You're right. It is very hard, and it has to be a very special horror comedy for me to like it. And I know it's like a hard blend to navigate anyways.
Well, sure. Horror and comedy are the two most difficult tones to nail.
Exactly. Like, they're both so subjective, so you have to strike like a pretty much perfect balance. And to me, one of the only horror comedies that does that, and I've heard the most people like have positive reactions from it, is something like What We Do in the Shadows.
Uh-huh.
Which I think is mainly because they lean more into the comedy than the horror. But also that the jokes all hit and they're very punny. I don't know. It's just also more of my type of humor. But this didn't work. But I would still recommend it because I recognize that it wasn't really set up to win with me anyway.
Do you think that this is a horror movie fans only kind of movie? I kind of do.
I tend to, simply because, like, I mean, the plot of it is way more horror, but also just like the fact that there's so many kills and gore and stuff. I can't think of
and it's not like
a non-horror
Scream
fan
style
enjoying that.
Stabbing. It's like people exploding, people, it's gory deaths.
Yeah. So you have to already kind of like those, like seeing those types of things in movies, or have no issue with it. And generally that's just going to be the horror crowd, especially how it's shown in this movie.
To be able to laugh at the stuff that
right
they want you to laugh at here, I think you'd have to be a horror fan.
Yeah.
Which I think most of his movies, you kind of have to be a horror fan.
I think so.
Yeah. What do you want to rate this?
I would rate this a 2.5.
Is that right?
Yes, it is right. And that's the first and only time I've said that. And I've never wavered. Yeah, it didn't work for me. So even though I can recognize it's a well-made movie and it's going to have its fan base out there and it's people who like it, and I love that, it was a dud for me. And I was bored, and the humor didn't hit, which was, I can tell, a pretty big aspect of the movie at large, considering it's a horror comedy. And so when the comedy part's not hitting, it's just half of it's gone anyway. So not my thing.
All right. Well, I liked it more than you. Unsurprising, I guess, since I like Os Perkins more than you.
I would expect that, yes.
But I didn't love it. It's probably my least favorite of his movies, although it's kind of hard to rank them when this one's so different in tone.
It's incredibly different than the others.
Yeah. I think that the comedy worked really well for me. I laughed a lot. I was in a smaller theater, which was weird because it only came out the week before. I saw it the following weekend, and it was already in the small theater, which was annoying to me.
Yeah, it was.
Because it's selling well, but it was in a small theater, but everybody laughed. And there was one lady that was laughing really loudly and really obnoxiously, and she was very funny. People that have very distinctive laughs, I enjoy them. But yeah, it was a receptive crowd. It seemed like everybody was into it. I thought the comedy worked really well. I thought that the editing was also really good. Mm-hmm. I think the editing contributed to the comedy as it usually does. I also loved his cameo very much. I thought Tatiana Maslany, every scene she was in was really good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
her dialogue was really good. I think that most of the dialogue in the movie that furthers the plot is not very good, but I liked all of her scenes. I think that most of it was written with a very sardonic and kind of blasé tone, but the stuff that Mom said was more earnest. Even though the stuff she was talking about was sometimes shit happens, basically, is what she was telling her kids. I found those scenes to have more heart, and I think that's probably, I don't know, his Oz Perkins's kind of affection for his mom coming through, I would assume.
Yeah, makes sense.
But the rest of the family stuff, I agree with you. I don't feel like it worked. I don't think that he needed to really change the short story in that way that much. I know that he said that he deliberately wanted to take it in a comedic direction because like we talked about, losing both of his parents in kind of strange ways, it put that in his mind from a young age, and he used to think, why me? And then as he got older, he realized, well, things just kind of happen and crazy things are a part of life and you might as well just laugh at them. So I like his attitude towards the material. I just don't think that he needed to do the shtick with the brother and with the estranged son.
Right.
I don't think it really added much. I think it could have been just a straightforward, here are these people with this one protagonist and his life is getting ruined because of this monkey.
Mm-hmm. It could be that simple.
Right. I also feel like they relied too much on CGI for some of the kills.
That dreaded CGI blood.
Yeah, I hate it. There's a scene where the mom dies, and it's not spoiling much to tell you that just about everybody around this guy's going to die. Right. So she's just bleeding. She has an aneurysm, and she's bleeding out of her eyes and her ears and her nose. Like, they couldn't have done that practically. The fake blood looked terrible.
That scene in particular was not well executed for a death scene.
And then they showed it twice.
Right.
So I didn't care for that. I also, I liked a lot of the kills. I thought they were really funny and cool. But I saw this with my friend Chris, and he pointed out something that I think they could have improved on the movie by doing. And that is, in the Final Destination movies, when something's going to happen, and you're just kind of waiting to see, like, oh, is this going to be it?
Yes, because you're seeing the series of steps and, like, the Rube Goldberg machine of it all.
And you're just waiting for it to happen. And there's, like, near misses and things where, I think that adds to the suspense of the movie. And this doesn't really do that at all. And I think it would have maybe added a little something to it if they would have if the deaths hadn't been quite so quick.
They did it with only one that I can remember. Or no, actually two. They did it with two. They did it with the shop owner or shop worker in the first one.
You mean, like, gave us, like, some lead up where we thought it was going to happen?
Yes,
and they did it in the
where
swimming
you see
pool.
the steps. They did it in the swimming pool, and they did it 3 times because they also did it with the ant.
Oh, you're right. All right. Well, maybe they did it enough. I just really like that, and I wanted them to do that more. I feel like they could have stretched the kills out a little longer and took some of the familial drama out.
Yeah, because some of them were just, like, super quick flashbacks to just,
super
like,
fast.
A dead face. And it's like, yeah, like, spend a little more time here.
Yeah. It is wild to me that he would make a movie with planes falling out of the sky after what happened to his mom.
I mean, that's
I guess, like you said, it shows that he's
working through things.
He's working through it.
If you're not willing to put something like that in there in a movie that contains humor, then you probably still have a little work to do.
I suppose you're right.
But that's a comfort level that probably takes some time to get to.
I would think so, yeah. Overall, though, I enjoyed this. I give it 3 stars. I recommend it to horror fans. Like I said, it's probably my least favorite Oz Perkins movie, but I think it's still an enjoyable time. I would watch it again.
I think if the comedy works for you, you're going to have a much more enjoyable time.
Yeah.
Or you're just going to, it's going to resonate with you more. You're going to like it more. Because to me, that part not hitting took away from it the most.
Well, sure. No, I thought the comedy was great. I liked all the little callbacks, like the when they were talking about the skydiving lessons and that they also do weddings, and then that woman falls through the roof and she's in her bridal outfit hanging from a parachute and the all the little quick shots of crazy kills with like the lady pushing the fiery stroller across the street and shit like that. I really thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this worked better comedically than like Final Girls or Cooties, to name 2 horror comedies that you don't like, that I liked a little better.
Yeah, and I feel like it's maybe slightly above those.
Okay. What was your favorite kill?
Favorite kill? I think it's the uncle's. What's his name? Chip or something? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we get his in just a quick little voiceover and flashback, but he gets trampled by a herd of wild horses when he's in a sleeping bag out on a hunting trip. And the best part probably being when he's there for like an autopsy or medical examiner or something, and they're just dumping out the remnants of his sleeping bag and what do they call it, like cherry pie filling or something. Pie filling. And it's just this mushy goo. That was
very funny. The editing really made that funny.
Yes.
I think my favorite was the swimming pool. Just because, like we talked about, it had that setup where you saw it happening. You know, the cooling unit on the roof was falling down and stuff. I liked that. And I liked his reaction to it and how overblown the event actually was.
Literally and figuratively.
There's a lot of exploding bodies in this movie.
Yep. Physics kind of goes out the window. I
also really liked the ants' death.
Oh, yeah.
That was very funny.
Yeah. I didn't like the bees one.
No, that one was really bad. The CGI was terrible.
I didn't like that one at all.
No.
Ants were better.
You mean the ant?
The ant. Well, ants. Ants are better, I feel like, in showing like a gnarly death. Just because they're so small and unassuming. I mean, bees are too, but they've got little butt weapons on them.
Little butt weapons.
And they're stinging people all the time, so.
In The Queen, the bad guy in it is like, he and his sister are in Africa when their dad, who's like an oil guy, is detonating charges underground to try and get oil, and it disturbs this massive underground fire ant colony, and it all comes up out of the ground, and it's this like miles long wave of these deadly fire ants.
Crazy.
And they overwhelm the car that he and his sister are hiding in, and they get in through the cracks and they eat her alive in front of him.
Yeah, see, that's gnarly.
It was a pretty gnarly scene, and it made him into a crazy guy, so that's his origin story.
Perfect. Yeah, the ant, her death scene was great, but if the bees' death had been ants instead, I would have liked to have seen that. Or if it
had been some kind of cool practical effect instead.
Or it was
although I understand you can't
CGI.
use, probably,
sure, no.
It's harder to use a bunch of real wasps or whatever, but At least the eye blood one you could have done practical.
Yes.
I'm dying on that hill.
Yeah, that one looked real bad.
Real bad. I still think that this feels like an Oz Perkins movie thematically, if not tonally.
Mm-hmm.
He, like we said, he's got all of his same things that he's working through.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
But he's coming at it from a different
ones,
approach.
But
yeah.
100%, yeah. It's a widely different tone, so it's going to feel slightly different.
And I did like, too, that there's a character in this named Annie Wilkes. They're a babysitter, I think.
Mm-hmm. I liked her.
That was a weird name check.
I
liked her
That
too.
was another scene I liked. I feel like, again, I feel like it was, for me, real strong in the beginning, and then it just sort of went away, because I really liked that scene in that, like...
In the hibachi restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
And because I love hibachi restaurants, and when they do that beating heart thing or make the onion volcano, I'm very happy. So... I was bound to be fond of that one.
I went to one on vacation, and that's when I got sick.
Well, don't hold that against all hibachi restaurants.
No, I won't. Well, that's what we think about The Monkey. 2.5 stars from Jamie. Still recommends it to horror fans only. I also recommend to horror fans only. I give it 3 stars. Comedy really worked for me. I am a little surprised by the low audience score on this. But maybe people are more in line with your feelings and not mine.
Possibly. I haven't read anyone's reviews or takes on it, so...
I haven't really looked on Letterboxd yet. I was just kind of going by the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, listeners, let us know what you thought of The Monkey, if you saw it. As I said, we do recommend that you see it. Hopefully it'll still be in theaters. I don't know why it's... Seems like it's going to have such a short run.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it did really well at first and it's slowing down, or maybe there's a lot of stuff coming out soon.
No, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
They probably bumped it in place of something else.
Yeah.
So for our next movie, I talked about this one last time, I think. We are going to be doing Mads. I don't know if it's Mads or like Mods because it's French. I don't know. But it's MADS. I don't know if it's an acronym. I don't really know. All I know is it's a cool movie. It's French. It's on Shudder and AMC Plus currently. You should watch it and then meet us back here in 2 weeks and we will talk about it.
Yay.
Listeners, are you going to see Mickey 17? The new Bong Joon-ho movie with Robert Pattinson? I am going to read the book first, if I can fit it in after I finish The Queen. Because it's my book club book for this month anyways.
Well,
so
yeah,
I figured...
Get cracking.
I know, crack-a-lackin', because it comes out on the 6th. Are you interested in that, Jamie?
That's tomorrow. It looks interesting. I don't know if it's one I'm interested in going to see in the theater, but who knows?
I'm interested.
I'll
let you guys know.
Seen Parasite. That's his
Really?
other one, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
That's all I've heard. It's been on my list, but for some reason it's just one of those that sort of never get around to checking out.
It's really clever. Really, really clever. I think you'd like it.
I'll see it eventually.
Yeah, he's one of my very favorite directors working. I've liked just about everything he's made.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll like this one. Or I can see why you're looking forward to it.
I hope so. I hope it's good.
Well, Robert Pattinson's a pretty great actor, so...
It's his first English language movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or was Okja in English? Now I can't remember.
Which one?
Okja, the one about the genetically engineered animal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I love all his movies. I haven't seen a bad one yet. He did Mother, which is great. Not the Aronofsky one. He did Barking Dogs Never Bite. He did Memories of Murder, which I tried to get you to watch.
Started it so many times and fell asleep, and not because I was bored, just because those types of movies and shows, that's what I usually nap to. So it's It's just
crime
so soothing.
procedurals. I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, listeners, have you reviewed us yet? It would really help us out. If you haven't, would you? Welcome to our new listeners. We could always use another rating and review. If you want to get in touch with us, you can comment on our website, thebloodlust.net. You can email us at thebloodlustpodcast@gmail.com. I'm going to set us up on Blue Sky, I think. We're not on Twitter anymore. We are on Instagram and Facebook. So contact us there if you are so inclined. You watch Severance, Jamie?
No,
No, you don't have Apple TV?
I do not.
A lot of people I know are watching that. We're on like episode 9.
I was just thinking that the other day. Like, I hear so many people talking about this.
You know the premise?
No.
Do you want to know?
I mean, sure.
Okay.
If you think it'll make good radio.
I mean, I think it might make you interested in seeing it. It's this company, they have this technique where they sever your brain. So it's location based. So they have like top secret stuff that they do, allegedly. And when they get to work, their consciousness goes into this, it's like, it's hard to explain. Their mind is separated from the point where they do the severance on. So you wake up in this office and are told that you're working here. You've been severed. And when you're done for the day, you get in the elevator and you go back down and then you're back. So your consciousness from home is always separate from your consciousness from work, which is great when you're the home person, which they call the outie.
Sure.
Because you never have to feel like you're working.
Right.
You just get in the elevator and you get out and you're done and you go home. But for the innie, all they do is work. It's hell. So that's what it's about.
It's about innies and outies.
Innies and outies.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds interesting for sure.
It's a pretty interesting show. It reminds me of that Black Mirror episode where they clone you and make you your own personal assistant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one gave me anxiety.
Yeah, me too.
Any of them where they did the, like, time shit to the cookies.
Yeah.
Or they're like, this is like 10 minutes for us, but it's going to feel like 3,000 years for them. It gives me such an existential dread. I hate it and love it.
And love it. Anyway. All right. Been nice talking to you. Nice talking with you, listeners. Jamie, thank you for joining me for this re-recording. I appreciate your patience.
No problem.
And listeners, thank you for listening. This has been episode 271 of The Bloodlust. Until next time, I've been Amy.
I'm Jamie.
Thank you, good night, and hail Satan.
Bye.